On the show this week, an Android flagship that could possibly replace a professional camera. The who's who of the tech world at the Business Today Mind Rush event, and more importantly, what's happening in the world of social media and gaming. This is your favorite technology show. I'm your host Aayush Ailawadi. Let's begin. Yes. You're saying you want more high tech on Tech Today. Have you seen some of the tech we cover on the show? Have you seen the EVs we have on the show? You want us to take it to the next level? Really? This is the country's #1 technology show, and you still want us to level up? Okay. Well, we'll see about that. So clearly we need to take things to the next level on Tech Today. We're using all sorts of high-tech devices. We've had all the big exclusives on the show, but it's expected that we level up. And maybe I can do that by changing this fancy DSLR camera. But how do I do it? Should I use a smartphone? Should I use maybe a point and shoot? Can a smartphone really replace a DSLR camera? This has fallen from up above. X90 Pro. Word on the street, this might just be able to match up to that fancy camera that we're shooting this show on. But is that a gimmick or is that the truth? Well, let's unbox it and find out. And now we have a Vivo X90 Pro, a flagship that a lot of camera enthusiasts have been waiting for a very long time. This is that device. I'll tell you a little bit more about this showstopper, which is the camera on this phone. Switch it right on, and a very good display, all set to be charged with this super fast charger at 120 watts. But this 1-inch sensor is now competing with the likes of a Canon, a Sony, some of the big GoPros, some of the big DJIs, the Insta cameras. Let's see what this particular lens, along with the computational algorithm, with the MediaTek Dimensity and their special V2 chip, what can it do? Can it produce magic? Well, let's find out. I can't wait to take this 1-inch camera and this fancy module out for a spin. But this is the Vivo X90 Pro flagship from Vivo. Since we are talking about the device, and we will get to the elephant in the room, there are other things I can give you in my initial impressions, starting with the design. This leather-like finish is just amazing. I think this is what a lot of other flagship phones should be doing, because it makes it so much more easy to handle, and the grip is so much better. It's smooth. Sometimes when I am holding the 14 Pro Max without a cover, your hand starts hurting. And we've seen all sorts of weird disfigurations for many YouTubers who've been using these sharp-edge devices. This is far more comfortable to hold. So this chrome badging here looks fine, the Zeiss looks fine as well. But then this italicized text saying extreme imagination, Vivo Zeiss co-engineered. Well, it's a small design flaw, I'm nitpicking, but I'm going to say this right at the start. They could have done a better job with this particular branding. I think that is the tagline for the phone. But why should we only judge by what's on the outside? The beauty is on the inside. And on the inside of this device, there's a lot happening, especially to make this camera flagship. Now, this flagship device comes with a very special chipset. No, it doesn't come with a Snapdragon 8 Gen, whatever you were expecting. It actually comes with a flagship chipset, but from MediaTek, the MediaTek Dimensity 9200. We want to put it through its paces, but on initial usage, it is snappy, and I'm pretty certain it'll get the job done. Also, when it comes to gaming, firstly, it's the design of the phone. It doesn't seem like something which would heat up like other metal or glass backs. But more than that, it also comes with a very special technology. And why I'm not worried about this phone heating up is because it comes with a bigger vapor cooling chamber than most devices. So all your temperature thermals will be steady and under control. This particular device comes with 12 GB of RAM. So I'm guessing gaming on this, with MediaTek's focus on gaming now, will be a cakewalk. But that's what we're talking about under the hood. Remember when double roles were a big deal in Bollywood, where you had maybe Salman Khan or Shah Rukh Khan playing two roles? Well, that happens out here as well. That MediaTek Dimensity chipset is just one end of the puzzle. To power this camera, Vivo has put their own V2 chip. Yes, they were going to be panning to this camera to talk about how the V2 chip is doing all the magic on this device. Speaking of the display on the X90 Pro, it is quite a smooth 120Hz experience, and honestly, quick user experience review that I have to tell you all about. I've used Vivo devices earlier on the show, but this is incredibly impressive. The good thing about this device is a lot of other manufacturers talk about flagships, but then they add all their bloatware and the Android experience does not seem like it's stock. Yes, there are a few things which have come in which are easily deletable, so to speak, but largely there's no bloatware. The display moves smoothly. It feels like a new ecosystem where you are genuinely getting, well, a flagship experience. Speaking of that experience, this device comes with a 6.78-inch AMOLED display. It is a full HD plus 1260 by 2800 resolution. It feels a lot like maybe how OnePlus phones were many years ago before they sort of lost the plot with this whole new OS experience, and how Google Pixel devices work with stock Android. I am very, very curious to use this phone a lot more, especially when we're traveling. Speaking of traveling, I think we've spoken a lot about this device. We'll give you a final verdict, but can't do it inside the Tech Today studio. We have to take this out for a spin, and that's where we're headed to next, to test whether this camera can beat that camera. Well, like I said, we needed to take this phone for a little bit of a ride outdoors, and what better place than to do this here in Mumbai. I'll give you a quick 360. This is a skating rink that you will only see here in Mumbai. And I'm going to step out over here because there's a bunch of soon-to-be Tony Hawk Pro skaters over here and tell you a little bit more about the camera on this particular device. Now, this device, of course, the 1-inch sensor does a stellar job at really bringing in low-light situations, enhancing the image with that V2 chip as well. And then you have a 50 megapixel, then a 50 megapixel telephoto, and then a 12-inch ultra-wide. But while it does get better in a lot of departments from last year, the X80 Pro, there are a few departments which are lacking, which I will tell you about as you adore some of these skaters. Number one, if you are using the selfie camera for video, then you are limited to 1080p and it can only go up to 60 FPS. And of course, it doesn't even have a lot of optical zoom out there. The 50 megapixel telephoto lens does take some great shots in all of the situations we put it in. But remember, optical zoom is only 2x. And even if you compare it to last year's phone, which was 5x optical zoom, then we're talking about a very different device. But yes, if you're talking about stills and even the cinematic mode on this, there's all sort of Zeiss filters as well, but in low light situations this phone does really well. In fact, even if you compare it to the iPhone 14 Pro Max, just purely on photos on the device, let's not talk about uploading on Instagram and other social media, because then optimization comes in. This device honestly is comparable to that particular DSLR we're using in a lot of situations, and that's because obviously there's a computational algorithm. It's the artificial intelligence and all the hardware and software at work in this particular device which are enhancing the images. That's how smartphones work. But yes, the final output is fantastic, and we'll give you the final verdict when we go back to the studio. But look at some of these photos even in the studio. Can you tell which one is a DSLR shot and which one is from the X90 Pro? It's not that easy. Look, in brightly lit scenarios like this, most devices do well, but this device does exceptionally well, and we can safely say that from some of these shots that you're seeing on the screen, that this device is perhaps one of the best smartphone cameras ever made, and one of the best smartphone cameras that we have had on Tech Today. Well, judging from our experience, can this camera on the X90 Pro replace your DSLR camera or all the high-end devices we use on Tech Today? Maybe not just yet, but the fact that this is one of the top contenders to do that one day, and Vivo's been doing it year after year, and the fact that it's being spoken of in the same breath as professional cameras, which are 3, 4, 5 times the cost of this one device, which will always be there in your pocket, is a compliment to what Vivo is doing with their flagship devices. Well, I'm smiling, but that's a frown turned upside down because I am no longer verified on Twitter. And yes, everyone's blue ticks went overnight on Twitter, but then strangely, some of them returned overnight as well. And then now we have all sorts of different colored ticks. A lot of celebrities don't have blue ticks anymore, and some of them were graciously given their blue ticks back by Elon Musk, who then comes back and says, thank you, it is a complete hodgepodge, it's very confusing. What is this blue tick business? What are the other ticks that are available? How does Twitter Blue work? And what happened with everyone's blue ticks that went into, I don't know, the metaverse or somewhere into space and then came back randomly to some people? This is a Tech Today special report which really spells it all out for you. Have a look.
A blue tick cleanup by Twitter last week sent thousands of netizens into a tizzy. The CEO of the microblogging website Elon Musk cleared removal of blue ticks of all the legacy accounts. Twitter said only those who are willing to pay 900 rupees per month for blue subscription will be the only ones to have a blue check. The decision, however, did not come out of the blue. Musk had announced his intention to remove all Twitter legacy blue checks back when he bought the social media platform last year. He believes that the way in which they were given out was corrupt and nonsensical. So why did it create panic on Twitter? Musk had announced that it will start removing the legacy blue checks starting April 1, which did not actually happen. This led many to believe that Musk is just bluffing and will not actually take away all the blue check marks. Later, he again announced that the final date to remove blue ticks is 20th April. Many did not take it seriously as the matter had been dragging for a long time now. To everyone's surprise, Twitter removed blue ticks of all legacy accounts on April 20. This caught the users off guard and wreaked havoc on the social media platform. Twitter removed blue ticks of many big celebrities like Virat Kohli, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh Bachchan, Chrissy Teigen, Kim Kardashian. The decision was highly criticized. A Block the Blue hashtag also started trending on the social media platform. The madness didn't just stop there. Soon after Twitter removed blue check marks of all legacy accounts and unleashed chaos on the platform, Elon Musk took a U-turn and started reinstating blue ticks for some users. It is assumed that these accounts included all users with 1 million or more followers. In addition to this, blue ticks were also restored for accounts of deceased celebs with more than 1 million followers, including Sushant Singh Rajput, Siddharth Shukla, Chadwick Boseman, and Kobe Bryant. If you're wondering about Twitter's blue, grey, and gold ticks, let us give you a lowdown on the social media giant's profile labeling system. All paid subscribers of Twitter Blue get the blue tick. The golden tick is for verified businesses and organizations like Zomato, Netflix, and Coca-Cola. A grey tick indicates the handle is run by government officials, institutions, or a multilateral body. The different colors of the ticks help Twitteratis categorize accounts and avoid fake handles. Since Elon Musk is the sole decision maker at the helm of microblogging site, and he can be unreliable at times, no one quite knows what next will come from Twitter.
If you check out some of the biggest companies around the world, especially where all the innovation takes place, you'll find out that they happen to be technology companies. That's a similar story here in India, and at the India Today Group, the Business Today team puts together, curates one of the biggest events in the India Inc. calendar. And it turns out that the who's who of corporate India end up at BT Mindrush, a signature thought leadership conference, which then culminates into the BT Best CEO Awards. Now, I had the good fortune of hosting this event along with the Business Today team, moderating a few sessions as well. And boy, oh boy, some of those sessions, especially the ones to do with technology companies, there were a lot of themes that emerged from those sessions. A lot of companies innovating in the technology space, a lot of people using social media effectively for marketing. Well, we have put together at Tech Today a special compilation of BT Mindrush and the Best CEO Awards. Have a look.
So material is going to be a big thing. So in fact, we have to really invest more in materials research. So we are going to set up something on that. Similarly, in electric vehicles, while we'll start with lithium-ion batteries, we are working with a lot of startups now, because we don't know when it will get disrupted. There will be sodium, there will be aluminum. There are people working on solid state. So one is we have got to innovate. The second thing is our adaptation and agility should be faster. We can't say we'll take 4 years, 3 years. It doesn't work. So how can we do things faster? Even if you want to fail, you try and fail. So we have set up a huge R&D in Tata Consumer now.
Automation is leading to a loss of more jobs at this point. A lot of companies who've been crystal ball gazing and said, hey, listen, these are jobs we won't require. It'll shape up differently, hopefully. But how do you see it? Because you understand the ways of the world. How do you see it? Is technology and all this automation and all the new, embracing all the new, something that causes concern for you? Do you look at it with a sense of trepidation? Or you're confident that the world will adapt, like you said, acclimatize, and then progress?
Yeah. I think let's take it this way. How many of us would, with a hand on our heart, agree that technology and what's happening in the world has added immense value to our lives? Immense value, right? Personal lives, business, work, everywhere. Immense value to our lives. How many of us would want to see a world where technology progresses further to such an extent that things become extremely easy, smooth, and a cakewalk for our work, business, and personal lives? Brilliant. How many of us would like a world where, with all of this having said and done and achieved, we lose our jobs? Oh, okay, there are a couple of hands up there. So the next person that would be interviewed would possibly be you, because Aayush is ready to interview to check out how if I lose my job because of a artificial intelligence humanoid that has come up in the market.
Point
Definitely
noted,
a point to be taken. We have noted, sir, your hand was up, and he's definitely going to interview on this. The fact of the matter is this. The reality is technology has added value. The reality is, with the brightest minds and with the brightest opportunities and the brightest avenues that have opened up, technology is escalating to the next level. The reality of the matter is also this, that when technology comes up there, as Aayush rightly said, it kind of becomes a threat to human existence, to human potential, to the development of human potential.
India is now the third largest market as far as domestic seat demand is concerned, but we're the 18th largest when it comes to international seat demand. How soon do you see that change? A lot of Indians still using routes in the Middle East and elsewhere as they travel abroad. How soon do you see India becoming an international player in the aviation?
So we're the third largest market domestically. We're the seventh largest market internationally at 60 million. You combine the two, domestic and international, we're today the fourth largest market. By next year, we will beat the United Kingdom and become the third largest market across the world. We've already gone ahead of the UK in terms of our economic growth numbers. The fact is that we were the 11th largest economy in 2013-14. We're today the 5th largest economy. We put the UK behind us. Those people that had a dream of ruling our country, today we are ahead of them economically, and we've got a diaspora who's actually today the Prime Minister of the UK. And that talks to our potential in terms of us as a people across the world. We are going to become the third largest economy by 2030, breasting Japan and Germany. And, a similar growth rate you're going to see in the area of civil aviation.
Okay. Okay, see, so, well, when we are taking breaks in between takes, sometimes we test out gaming. This, of course, is a very elementary game that has come in stock with some of the bloatware on this device. But then we have downloaded a bunch of games and we thought we've not done gaming on the show for a while and it's picking up in such a big way. So in the second half of the show, what we're going to bring you from the world of tech happens to be Game On with Tech Today. You know, there's a huge interest for gaming in the country and it's just growing like wildfire. But what's interesting is, in the pandemic, a lot of us purchased a lot more products. Now, especially if you look at the last quarter, we've seen shipments slowing down, a sort of decline in sales as well, not just for Dell, but for the larger Indian market when we're talking about PCs and laptops. So when you look at that sort of a phenomena, do you think that's something that is a storm that will be weathered in a short span of time and then we'll be back to normal? Or does it call for more innovation from the likes of Dell and other players in the market?
I think both, right? It will certainly drive more innovation naturally because the customers are eager to see more innovation. But in the market is still above pre-pandemic levels. So we have a spike during the pandemic, but it's still higher than pre-pandemic. And the total installed base now is bigger than it was before. So there is still opportunity to have those customers upselling, refreshing, getting more technology. So I'm very optimistic what this market has ahead.
Tech Today is here in Nehru Place. We are here to find out where is New Delhi gaming. If they are gaming on PCs, consoles or mobile phones. Moreover, are they buying subscription services like the Xbox Pass or the PS Pass? Or are they buying games online or offline from markets like Nehru Place? You're going to find out all about that in this Tech Today segment. So where do you game?
So I game at home in my dorm room.
I mostly game on my PC, but also I sometimes go to some gaming cafes. Console and PC both.
So I mainly play on my laptop and it's very fun.
I play on my laptop,
I'm a student right now, so I have a laptop which I use to game.
Do you think India is self-sufficient when it comes to be a professional gamer? Do you think we have enough opportunities?
Now, like a lot of sponsors are coming in. Like before, the opportunities were very less, and like for young people, like they could not pursue it professionally. If these opportunities that are currently coming, if they were back then, like that would have been nice.
A lot of children these days, or even adults, are trying to be go professional in the gaming community because obviously a lot of brands are investing in it. So I think it's a good way to extend your career opportunities in the future.
And do you buy games or do you buy subscription services?
Usually I would go for the free games, but then I would make purchases in the game for weapon skins and stuff.
Mostly I just buy games because on Steam, or I think most of the games that are coming these days, like Valorant, they are free to play. I buy the PC games, and for PlayStation I go with the subscription. That's easier.
I don't believe I subscribe. I once got a free Xbox Pass with my PC,
If we look at it now, there are a lot of options growing out. As you know, there are a lot of companies coming in, even from outside, from abroad, trying to get teams from India, and which can actually compete for in a global level.
Do you think others come down, and if no, then why do you think is this happening? Why are people coming down? Why are people not coming down to Nehru Place to buy them?
People aren't coming down because nowadays games are harder to crack, and buying them online is more of a simple way.
No, I don't personally do that because online is very more, comfortable to buy games.
Not really. I don't come out to Nehru Place that often. Not really. That thing has been quite washed off after since the COVID, was even in the online section. The subscription thing has gathered a lot of audience.
I would say, because people are actually looking forward to the subscriptions and buying those.
Yeah, I think that market is going down currently because I think most of the games are like we buy online only. So I think that market is a bit coming down like these days.
People come down to Nehru Place often to buy games. Do you see that in your community?
No, I don't think so. Recently, some of the anti-cheats like Divine anti-cheats, they have been really strict with the games right now. It's very hard to crack, but sometimes you can more usually find cracks online. So that's why it's very harder to come down offline to buy games pirated from Nehru Place. It's better to get online.
Well, it seems like Nehru Place's glory days as the tech headquarters of New Delhi are coming to an end. Gamers are no longer flocking here to buy pirated games, but are buying cracked versions of the same games online. Moreover, subscription services like the PS Pass and the Xbox Pass have also put a dent to Nehru Place's pirated gaming markets. This was a Tech Today exclusive report.
Quite impressive on the selfie camera as well, but I'm not going to show you that particular image. That's because you will have to log on to our social media handles and the Tech Today website. That's www.techtoday.in to find out more about this flagship, and maybe we'll compare it with other flagships to see which camera comes out on top. But that's only smartphones, and we were missing them on the show. There's so much more happening in the world of EVs. It's happening in the Tech Today multiverse, the Business Today multiverse as well. And of course, you got all the top big tech conversations from BT Mindrush on this show. A lot more, again, on our social media handles, where you need to reach out to us and let us know what you thought about this particular show, and let us know what you want to see in subsequent episodes. Until next week, this is your host Aayush Ailawadi saying adios.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.